Hi Capricorn. I'm wearing my comfy clothes because it's a little bit rainy, but warm. I'm feeling very comfortable and just, kind of how I feel when I go and hang out at my brother's house. You go hang out with your older brother, raid the fridge, mess with the TV, watch the game, whatever. Like, just, chilling. And that's not, that's how you make other people feel, but that's not how you're feeling right now. You're going through a big thing, right? You are being finally redirected. And I think you want to make some decisions and take some risks now. I think there's like a certain part of the Capricorn mind that really digs like the height of summer, because you guys love to work, but you love to play. And I feel that in you guys are ready for that play. You don't want to just work right now, especially in terms of relationships. You don't want to just be doing the work. And that may have something to do with the height of summer. Just pleasure, fun. People always like wonder or are amazed that my older brother and I go out together, like party together, go dancing together. Like, people are like, wow, you guys really get along. And I think that Gemini and Capricorn, what they have in common is that they really like to have fun. You guys love to have fun. Zero drama fun. I mean, you'll participate in the drama insofar as, like, you'll break it up if you need to. But no, you're just out there to have a good time. And I feel that for you guys, and I feel it like every summer. Every summer, there's this like Capricorn push of like, all right, what am I going to do with my summer? Like, who am I trying to be this summer? Like, what am I trying to get done? Like, even you, let me put it this way. In a funny way, you approach your fun like a job too. Which is kind of great, like, it's not enough for many of my Capricorn friends, male and female. It's not enough for them to be recreationally into something, right? If they're into motorcycles, they're super into motorcycles, as in they're not hobbyists or collectors. They're the ones that have the nicest one for what they need it for. And they take really good care of it. They have all the things they need, not to accessorize, but to keep them safe. My Capricorn friends that are golfers do the same thing. You guys take it seriously, and I think that you actually enjoy things where you do need to do that kind of work and prep for your fun, Like, somehow the effort makes the payoff even more worth it. And interestingly, although you are very much into doing that, especially right now, you're not into doing it in terms of emotional relationships. In terms of emotional relationships, you're tired of making that extra effort to stay relevant to somebody who just seems like they have a problem all the time. Who's just not, like, they're running really hot and cold and you're just like, this is boring, or it's someone you've been dealing with for a long time and you're finally just like, you're never going to stop being like this. Okay, I'm starting to get it. And what will add to that, what will add to your confidence in kind of making those decisions is that you have this external source of money. Let's remember the Ace of Pentacles is a hand coming out of nowhere. It's money from nowhere. So far what we have on the table is celebration and money from nowhere. Now let's look at this first card a little more though, because sure, it is a card of celebration, but it's also a card, like we've talked about before, of addiction. And it's also a card of a triangulation between, three people. And Capricorn has been finding themselves in a bit of a triangulated mess for a few years now, even if it was just emotionally. So the way I perceive this here is that this triangulation, whatever that dynamic between three people was for at least 3 years, I'd say a little more, this month it sort of abruptly comes to an end, and not because of some externality that happens, but because you yourself are like I said, you guys like to work and then reap the reward. I think what you've realized here is that the reward that you would like to reap is very different from the seeds you were planting. But there is still time to regroup and plant the right seeds. Let go of the wrong people. Hold on to the right people. And I think this has already started happening for you mid-May. I noticed that the Capricorns were not at all antsy about receiving their reading, and it's because you guys are, you guys are on top of it. You guys have these really confident, easy confidence, easy movement through confidence, spells where you just, it all makes sense to you and you go with it and you're able to just trust your instincts and yeah, I don't feel like doing this anymore. Most of my Capricorn female friends get to the point with any given situation where they kind of look at it and go, well, I wasn't really that invested anyway. And that's something to look at here. If you were not really invested, if you never got to the point with somebody where you really wanted to see the fruits of this labor pay off, and you don't really want to see what kind of fruit they've been planting, now is that month where you're just like, this is silly, we're wasting each other's time, can we just not do this? Now at the same time, there is some planetary stuff going on that's pretty heavy for you guys, so let's take a look at that as well as these cards are waiting to come out. One of the things I have written down here is from the I Ching. It's Chinese philosophy. And in it, one of the cards you can receive when using the I Ching for divination is the card of temporary obstacles. And when you receive the card of temporary obstacles, the advice that you are given is that of understanding that obstacles, especially ones that are temporary, are only there to teach you certain things and to keep you held back in the moments where you need to, and to also teach you that not everything is a boulder that you can put your shoulder to and push away. Sometimes you have to learn how to evade things instead of, going at everything like this. Now in my house, my particular Capricorns never learned how to do this because they have an Aries mom. And so there was just, but in a good way, where they're like, ha, this is fun. And Aries is like, yeah, I love you guys. It's like people like me and my dad who were like, this is crazy. Like, what are you guys doing? Because we're air signs, so we're like, can't you guys talk about this? But what we find here with Capricorn is this: you may have felt plagued by a situation for a while that seemed like no matter how much you put into it, it just wouldn't move. And we've talked about this before. And this could also be in relation to a person, right? A person that you've been trying to reach, a person you've been trying to get through to, a person you've been trying to, in so many ways, make understand that you care about them, or you do have whatever it is, right, that they're not understanding. And you're just at the point where, like, it doesn't matter anymore. Like, okay, who cares? If you're not going to get it, you know, I'm not going to put my shoulder to this boulder anymore. I'm just going to go around it. I'm just going to go around you because I've been trying to use all my momentum to push you into a better place so we could be in that better place together. But you obviously want to stay here. And I guess you've just been circular like this all along and I didn't realize. But when Capricorn has their moments of realization, watch out because they change quickly. And I think this is another reason that Capricorns can hang with Geminis, because Geminis, you know, when you guys change quickly, we're like, cool. You know, like my brother told me, he was like, when I turned 40, I just decided, like, I don't care. I'm going to do whatever I want. Right? Maybe I've told you guys this before. And like, I'm sure to a lot of people, if he would have told that, they would have been like, okay, well, you're married and you got 2 kids and really, is that what you know? And he told me and I was like, yeah. Word. Good. You know, and he just looked at me. He was like, Umber, you always understand. I was like, yeah, of course. Like, I wasn't even just saying it. I mean it. Yeah, of course. Do what you want, man. You know? And this is that time period of do what you want. Do what you want, because, you know, the world is putting the wind in your sails. Like, the universe is like, you know, enough with this. Like, if someone is just being difficult just to be difficult, if a situation is just like, you know, they say where there's smoke, there's fire, right? So if you're constantly stuck in this power struggle with somebody over and over and over again, where what you end up seeing exhibited on their side is so emotional that it puts you in a place where you have to behave like this, which is fine. I mean, you guys can do it. You're astute enough that you can be the King of Swords, but it's not natural to you, you know? The only reason you would have to be this way is if you're still hanging on, you know? And let me show you these cards, because if you're still hanging on, what you're hanging on to is way, way less than what you stand to have if you don't, you know, cling, right? So here's what you can hang on to. It's a 4 of Pentacles. Or we can move up to the 7 of Pentacles and money coming in. Just this kind of gift of a financial boost, right? This is the world supporting you. It's so funny. That's exactly what my note says. A financial boost and the world supporting you. I love that. And it is. It's very clear for you this month. But for me, you know, the clear things, I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you're feeling good. I'm happy that your money situation is getting better. I'm happy that you're feeling that the effort that you're making in all aspects of your life is starting to pay off. And where it's not, you're beginning to realize that, you know, you need to take your thoughts, process what's going on, and get out of that situation. Because what you're sailing into from exiting that situation is a beautiful new beginning. And the only thing that will keep you stuck in that old place that you don't want to be in will keep you in an energy that's not, you know, that's just not authentic to you. Nothing wrong with this energy. It's just not yours, right? Now, I know that this is a very difficult card for an earth sign. That's why it's a pentacle card, because this is the sort of 4 energy. This is the sort of grounding. This is like when grounding energy goes a bit wrong, right? The 4 of Wands can be very grounding, right? this is when that 4 energy goes a bit risk averse and becomes a prison for its bearer instead of a boon. So of course that is your pitfall, that is your hurdle to overcome this month, which is just not hanging on to previous thoughts about how much you're supposed to be making, previous mindsets about money in general. This can indicate a lack mindset in terms of money. So if you've been worrying about money and trying to hold it to you, we know that all that's going to do is take it away from you, right? So if you've gotten stuck somehow in this circular thinking, and, you know, part of why you got stuck in that circular thinking is because you're trying to get away from someone who was making you think in circular terms like that, like we talked about, then, you know, this may be the only appropriate reaction to get you out of the situation. Perhaps you do need to take on a bit of an air sign quality. No, it's not authentic to you. Oh, my palms have been itching so, this one has been itching so much. No, it's not authentic to you, but perhaps it's the vehicle you need to get from here to here. Or to be able to enjoy this. You know, having these 2 cards to each other is like having the world available to you and viewing it through a keyhole. And maybe it is the strict rationality and analytical intelligence of an air sign with which you need to look at this situation. Maybe this is the filter you need to put over your eyes so you can see things as they are, because the secret here is that Capricorns are very emotional. And they make decisions from their emotions all the time, right? But, thank goodness, the risks that you will be taking, at least this month, are not emotional. I think you've taken a lot of emotional risks, and you may be a bit shell-shocked, you know? Maybe a bit gun-shy from all the emotional stuff. Now, you get to take some real material risks. Lose this mindset and take a risk. Lose this mindset and take some sort of financial monetary risk. And you will be supported, and you will be supported in even taking that risk by money that will come in before you even decide to do it. Okay? Take some self-care, appropriate emotional risks. If you're in a situation where you're just not being treated in a way that leaves you any calm or any peace, it's time to get out. If you look at your current situation and see how everything out there could be for you, but this situation has got you stuck, then it's time for you to leave. And this month, Mercury in your 6th house makes that possible. You are able to get the really important stuff done, and I suspect that this is the most important. Now, along with this, you've got so much other stuff going on because of the Cardinal Cross, right? You're going to have to make a decision. You're going to have to make a decision between what's important to you. Is it the fun you want to have? Is it the money you want to make? Is it the life you want to live? Is it the kind of life you want to live? Is it deciding what type of person you have to be in your life to make all these pieces stay and fit together? Right? This is not you, but this could very easily be you. The giving, kind, helpful Capricorn that gets it all done and rations it all out and provides and is there and delivers. Nothing wrong with this energy, but, you know, your truth lies here. And I think this month you decide that what's really important is a mix of these things. What's really important is making enough money to do the risky things that you know will be financially rewarding, but also emotionally rewarding to your soul. So do that with a mind at constantly having fun as well, with a mind of making this entire process, tinging the entire thing with a sense of celebration. Right? Somehow, this set of events, set of lucky breaks, set of doors opening, set of epiphanies, all of this comes together and kind of frees you from your past. You know, this to me looks like the spread of someone who's saying, you know, I decided yesterday that I'm just going to do whatever I want from now on. And I think what you have in store for you moving forward is someone, you know, that air sign is there. You know, whatever sign you're leaving right now, and I'd say most likely it's a fire sign, because earth signs have just been leaving fire signs left and right this past month, everywhere. And what you're heading back towards slowly, in terms of emotion, very slowly, is this air sign. Absolutely. But what I see for you moving forward, before you get there, before that becomes a viable reality for you, what I see is a time of great inner knowing and contemplation. A time where you find that your more spiritual center needs to be mirrored in your partner, or in the next partner you have, or in your next job, or in the job you would like to start. You know, you are going through a period of major transformation, only in that the universe is asking you to reprioritize. And it's hard to reprioritize when you don't know who you're supposed to be. Because there are things that are important to this person, and there are things that are important to this person. And they're very different. Sure, some of them overlap. We're all human, but these people think very differently. And until you can figure out which one of these you are, oops, this one, you can't until then prioritize your life properly, because what's important? Now, to this person, what's important to this person is having enough money. This card makes me think of the quote, how do I help the poor? By not being one of them. This is the card of a doer and a getter and someone who believes in accomplishment, who goes out and does and gets and brings it back and shares it and meets it out and helps those around him or her with it. And you may feel yourself very much in that provider role, or you may be feeling like you're being very harsh with everyone around you because you can't handle the stress of this, and instead of being able to fulfill this, you turn into this, okay? But take heart. What's needed if you're here instead of here is contemplation. It's time spent alone. It's time spent really digging into the subconscious and trying to figure out, through meditation, through silence, through journaling, whatever it may be, where it is that this compassion and this need to connect and help, where does it lie? What aspect of your life, in which aspect of your life can you behave this way? Because it'll bring you so much comfort to know that this is who you really are. Now, if this is a work situation, it's very possible that you will have to leave that work situation, but that you will be handsomely rewarded for it prior to leaving and after. So although in the eyes of the world you will seem as though you have been, reduced in rank, or your job has been taken away from you, in reality you will hold on to a lot of what you came in with. So that's another way to read that. If I was reading this particular spread in terms of money, that's how I would interpret it. Okay, but I would also say in terms of money that all you need to do, Capricorn, to attract more money into your life is to turn here. People are often surprised when I talk about Capricorn being such a spiritual sign. And people are like, whoa, how do you mean? Like, that's so, that seems so weird. Like, how are they spiritual? They're so cynical. They don't believe in anything. And I'm like, no, the devil is that's a very spiritual card. It cannot be lost on you that that's a fallen angel. There's something in that being that at one time God loved so much that he was the right hand of God. He was his best friend. So like, and still they're locked in this, game of one-upping each other. Like, it's still what friends do. Like in this book called The Tale of the Body Thief, it's part of the Vampire Chronicles that I read when I was very young, and they made a huge impression on me. In Tale of the Body Thief, a psychic has an experience where he's walking past a cafe in Paris, and he sees God and the devil sitting playing chess in the window. And it's it's like the way it's written, it's like just like a trip sequence. It sounds like a trip sequence, but in that moment he has this epiphany and he realizes that nothing is quite as dramatic as he's making it, because essentially this is what's going on. So I say that to say that you are spiritual, whether you want to be or not, because you are locked into a symbiotic situation, right? This world of goodness cannot be without a counterpoint. So you are just as valid and just as important as any other energetic presence. And you being the counterpoint of this existence, that makes you, by definition, very spiritual. And so I think that the reason Capricorns don't tend to, delve into the world of perhaps tarot or horoscope, or even, can be ambivalent towards it, is because by your very nature, in the fiber of your being, you are such an enormously powerful and spiritual being that you don't need all the ritual that us mere humans need to get in touch with that. You are imbued with it. You live it. You do from that place. And it is a place of great power and great love. So, this month, although people may say to you, you seem to only be caring about yourself right now, I would be the one who just, snap back. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I am. I need it right now. Maybe you should care about yourself a little too. Go care about yourself. I'm really good at caring about me. I'll do that right now. And you need to care a little more about yourself, because you not caring about yourself is driving me nuts. How dare you get upset with me for wanting to preserve myself, simply because you lack the ability to do that for yourself. This is the type of conversations that Capricorn has been having and will continue to have for the rest of this month, all through May and now all through June. And it's because when people get entangled with you in any respect, friendship, partnership, business, love, they really like to keep their hooks in you. Who doesn't want a Capricorn around, right? And sometimes they even try to, in the I Ching it says, when nations and dogs are unclear on boundaries, they quarrel. Right? So there are people in your life who try to overstep your boundaries and try to take liberties with you as if you owe them something, or as if you should be there for them no matter what, because they've realized this is a part of your personality, right? So they play you. We've talked about this before too. But this is one of those beautiful months where you have such clarity. Like if you're watching this because you love a Capricorn, and you know how sometimes they have those moments that it seems like someone's knocked them in the head and everything seems really clear to them and they're like, oh wow, I get it. This is one of those moments where you don't have to knock them in the head. You don't even have to be mean to them. You just watch them. They're going to be like having these realizations over and over again where they're like, whoa, wait a minute. Reassessing, reprioritizing, just reorganizing your energetic life. And there's great thrill in that, because it is a bit risky. And you're going to be doing some risky stuff, and you're going to be having a lot of fun, and you're going to be enjoying your summer, and you'll have even more energy to do it with if you get this stuff out of the way now. You know, you've got a couple more weeks before summer actually starts, right? Right? Go for it. Do it. Get yourself in a situation where you wake up and you go to sleep feeling like this, and knowing that you attracted this from a place of emotional independence. And if you have made some choices recently to walk away, trust those choices, because you can't stay like this. It's no fun. It's not enough feeling. Here's where we're going, and here's where you want to be. So, it's a good card. It's a really good card. Conversely, if you're feeling like other people are treating you this way, as if you're at their mercy, even though you're the one doing everything, this will be the month where you break it out with some logic and some truth and are like, oh, no, no, no. No, no, no. I'm going to give you some truth now. You know, try to be nice about it. Try to be nice about it. You do have horns, remember that. But you have the whole cardinal energy of all the cardinal signs with you. And you deserve it. Do for yourself. Put yourself first. Decide who you want to spend time with and who you don't want to spend time with, regardless of what they make you feel like you owe them or not. You don't owe anybody anything. How about that? So what? You don't. So what? Put yourself first, just like that, that energy, and let this month shake out what happens. Because I'm telling you, anyone who really loves you wants you to do you. They want you to think about yourself because you don't do it enough. I didn't mean to yell at you. That was like right at 10. A little bit. Alright, so the tickets for the Oakland meetup will be in the information box below. If you would like a reading, email me. If you would like to just hit me up, Twitter or Instagram or Snap. They'll be there too in the info box. I'm doing personal readings in New York all of August and September. But if you would like to book, please do it quickly. I'm doing personal readings in San Francisco for the first 3 weeks of October, and I'm doing them in-person readings in LA the last week of October, the first 2 weeks of November. Those also, please book promptly. Also, I'm still doing one-on-one readings over the phone and Skype, but I will be tapering that off and just finishing it because I have a book coming out in the spring and I need the time, but also because scheduling has become a bit difficult for me, and so either I'm just going to work with people who understand that scheduling is the way it is because it's an energetic thing and you can't really predict exactly when it's going to happen, or I'm just not going to do them because I can't conform to that structure and I never have been able to, so it's better for me to just back off from that. And yeah. So there's all the technical information. Now, aside from that, Volume 1 of the Tarot of Inner Work, my set of books, actually it was supposed to be one book, but I'm doing it in a set now, will be coming out this time next year, and it will be accompanied by a deck called the Maharani deck of tarot cards. And this first volume will focus on love readings and how the cards relate to love readings. And then the second volume will be about money and so on and so forth. So that will be out in the spring and will be available for pre-order for Christmas. So more info on that later. I'm so glad that I did your reading today, feeling the way I feel. I don't know if you can tell a difference in my energy, but Cynthia, who makes my malas at Shinshaya Jewels, she made me this protection mala because of the energy she saw coming off me in last month's readings, and she could tell that there was some serious, like, gnarly energetic connections that were just pulling a lot from me. And from the moment I've put this on, I've just felt very grounded and very calm and very safe. And perhaps you can see that in my energy. Makes it a lot easier to read. That's for sure. Makes me a lot clearer because my anxiety level is so low. You know, it's quite incredible. So if you would like to work with Cynthia on an energetic piece for you, I consider this absolutely energetic medicine. So if you would like to work with her, I'll leave her info below as well. But her, as well as me, it's the same thing. You have to realize that it's not a product you're buying, right? It's an experience and it's a healing. So there's that. Also, this dopeness that's going on with my hair. I don't know if you've noticed that I almost don't have to mess with my hair at all now during the readings. It's because I have a new hairdresser. We talked about her last month, but I would just like to shout her out again because the grow out of a haircut to me is really the test of whether or not the haircut is good. And the way this haircut is growing out and the way the color is responding to being it's just, I couldn't be happier. I'm daily impressed with her skill level. Incredible work. And my confidence level has just been higher, since she cut my hair, because I think there's just something, and people of color, I'm sure, will be able to relate to this. There's just something so gratifying and just makes you feel so good when someone understands your hair texture and works with it instead of getting you to conform to some standard of hair that then you have to blow dry and straighten and torture your hair into becoming. This is more like I can just be, and my hair is like this because it was cut with the understanding of what it wants to do. I'm so impressed. Oh, if you're wondering, my eye is swollen because my kid hit me in the face on accident. These Taekwondo reactions, I can't. So yeah. I love you guys. This was a good reading. I'm happy for you guys. Ace of Pentacles, the World. Celebrate, not too much. Work hard, play hard, not too much. Careful. But say what you gotta say. Say it. Say it. Mars in your relationship house, say what you gotta say. If it's someone who's just been a leech forever or someone who just goes up and down, just say it. Just like, no, I'm done with this. This is like a merry-go-round. I'm getting sick of this. I'm getting car sick, I'm getting motion sick. Like, I'm a Capricorn. What I understand is like forward movement. I don't need this teacup nonsense. I don't need this. I'm so averse to that circular nonsense that I can't even go on teacups. Watching people on the teacups makes me sick. Go around in circles for what, dog? No thanks. Forward movement, And I attribute that very much so to all the Capricorn men in my life. Because I've adopted it from them. It's such a beautiful way to be. And the females as well. All the Capricorn females I know are these super go-getting, achieving, responsible, like, fuck with it. Like, I got this, women. And this month you get to apply that to your relationships. And that's not easy for you. It's easy for you to be that kind of, not ruthless, but all about my business, all about my bag person. That's cool. But when you got to be all about your heart, my brother cried through his whole wedding. Like, the minute they asked him to be like, he was like, I was like, oh my God, I can't. Like, my father was like, is he crying? I was like, he's crying. Of course he's crying. And then he cried watching the fountain at the Bellagio. And we were like, what has happened to you? Like, what is good? When you guys have to tap into your heart, you can get real in your feelings. Like, legit, there were tears streaming down his face. You know when they do the swelling music at the Bellagio and then the fountains, the whole shit, and he was just, and I turned and looked at, I was like, people know. And he was like, he looked at me, unashamed. Unashamed. He was like, it's beautiful, you know, it's beautiful. Like, you're having one of those Bellagio moments, Capricorn. Okay? Where you're going to look around at your life and be like, this is beautiful. I should be having fun. You're miserable. Get out of my face. Like, I'm done with this. Move. You know? And I like it for you. I'm happy for you. I'm excited for you. Have a good summer. Have a good rest of the spring. Have a good summer. I'll see you in July. We'll talk more about it. Okay? I love you.